If you guys know me, or if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that every year I try to do something in memory of my brother Teddy. So in 2020, I got this idea to plant a whole field of sunflowers in memory of Teddy. Now, my brother was a lot of things, and among these things, he was a farmer. And the only flower that he had ever farmed was a sunflower. So sunflowers automatically have a special place in my heart. So when I came up with the idea, I knew that I wanted to do something beautiful and something bright, and I wanted to create something that would brighten people's day. My grandparents raised my brother and I, and they taught us how to farm, but my green thumb with plants is more like a black thumb. So I was surprised that I kept these alive because I kill succulents. Succulents are hard to kill, and I kill them. So anyways, farming these was so much fun. I mean, it was therapeutic. I even broke down a couple times out there and was crying and hoeing. Not actually hoeing, but I was actually hoeing with my hoe. But it was so beautiful. It was kind of like the feeling that you get when you go visit like a pumpkin patch, or you go visit a really cool Instagram cafe type of thing. That's what it felt like every day, pulling up to the fields or pulling up to my flower cart. When I came up with the idea of Teddy Sunnies, at first I really just felt like, no, it'd just be cool to have a field of sunflowers. Then, right before my sunflowers bloomed, I was like, actually, I kind of want a flower cart. And so my mans was like, I could do it. Let's do it. So I was like, okay, bet. So this is the process. First, I envisioned what I wanted the flower cart to look like. I already had this idea in my head. And then I went to goodoldpinterest.com and started looking up flower carts on there and getting some inspiration. And then we just got the materials, sketched it out, did some measurements, and found a day to build it. And we cranked that shit out. And by we, I mean Matt.
It's the only thing I'm good for.
I was the entertainment, of course.
Who put this together? You did.
I did.
So today is the first day that I'm gonna sell these at the store, but it's really muddy out here, and so I'm like literally like crisscrossing through these. The plants are like scuffing up my leg, and I'm wearing plastic bags over my shoes. So aside from it being wet some days, picking flowers was one of my favorite things. I saw insects living their lives peacefully and unbothered. I saw life in the flowers that I planted and nourished. I saw so much life that it helped me come to a realization about life and death. And I realized how much we are like sunflowers. With sunflowers, we plant a seed into the ground for it to be born. We watch the seed grow and bloom, and one day the plant has to die. But in the cycle of it dying, its seeds transition into the ground, and sunflowers are born again. Humans are brought into this world, and we live our lives and we grow. One day we die and we are buried, and just like a sunflower, we are born again. However, I realized that we don't really die, we just transition. You know, our physical body is gone, but our souls transition into whatever's next. In 2021, we did Teddy Sunnies year 2, but we faced some challenges. The heat this year in California, I mean, I've never seen the heat this bad. There were hot nights, the days were like scorchers, and I feel like the heat came a lot earlier than it usually comes. Like, I feel like it doesn't usually get that hot until July, but it got hot really early this year. Another thing was the weeds were like super unbearable. On our farm, we have nutgrass, which is like super duper invasive and it grows thick. And if you don't get it from the root, it is a bitch. Some of my sunflowers didn't even bloom because the weeds surrounding them were so much stronger and they took all the energy, they took all the water, and they grew stronger than the sunflowers. So the sunflowers didn't even get a chance to really bloom. And in 2020, when the sunflowers died from the first round, we clipped all of the dead ones and we watered them again, and they came back the second round like beautiful and alive. But this year, there was, I mean, obviously California's been in a drought for a minute, but they announced that it's been worse than ever. So I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to use the water because this heat is just like too unbearable, and I don't want to be the reason for the drought. Overall, Teddy Sunnies was an amazing experience. It was a lot of hard work, but it was definitely worth it. It was worth it to see people's smiles, to hear people's stories, and I also ran into a lot of people who personally knew my brother, and they would tell me how they knew him and just share stories with me about the person he was and why they loved him. And I even met a few people who were so touched by Teddy's Sunnies and the reason behind it that they came and shared their stories with me about how they also lost someone who was very close to them and how sunflowers also remind them of the person that they lost. So I want to say thank you to everybody who showed their love and support. I'm extremely grateful and blessed. Thank you for helping my vision and my dream come true.